Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet Radio show right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Alex from the Swedish metal band Letters from the Colony. Welcome to the show, Alex.
Thank you. I wouldn't call myself that special, but thank you.
So, Alex, now, you actually joined the band in 2015, I believe. So what were you doing prior to being in the band, and how did you end up getting the gig with them as their vocalist?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty late to the game with this band, but I've been friends with the guys for, forever. So it was a strange thing, really, that didn't happen sooner than it did. But yeah, basically, before Letters from the Colony, I was sort of a free agent, I guess I could call myself. I've been in a ton of bands over the years, and I was in one that, wasn't very good. I did shit that I'm going to be ashamed of for the rest of my life, pretty much. Some bad songs written, bad songs recorded, performed, or whatever. So I didn't do anything musically for a few years, and I sort of wanted to get more into the recording and, the studio side of things. So I got in touch with Sebastian, through that, because the band had just acquired a space not far from where I live. So we thought of the idea of, working together in the studio. But then the whole thing happened with the guy that was handling the vocal duties at the time. Was an Irish guy called Dave. I don't know how they found him, but must have dug him up under a rock or something, like a leprechaun. Yeah, but anyway, they were playing some shows in Stockholm, and he just basically, the day before they left, "No, sorry guys, I got some family business, I won't be able to join you." And they're like, "Oh shit." So I think they played one show, just instrumental, which isn't, anything bad with this band. We got some pretty nice riffs and stuff, but for the second show that they had booked, they wanted a vocalist. So they phoned me up. I think it was on a Friday, and I had just gotten back the same week from touring with another band, so I was pretty tired of playing live. They called me and basically asked if I wanted to be the stand-in vocalist for one show. And I'm a pretty spontaneous guy, so I gladly accepted before asking when it was. And I'm like, "Okay, so when's the show?" And they're, "It's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And I'm like, "Okay, how many songs are we playing?" But, it actually went great. It was one of my best performances to date, because I was actually focusing on the songs, not just headbanging. So, yeah.
And Alex, we keep reading how the band is based out of a town in the woods of Sweden, built around some kind of steel mill. So tell us a little bit about where this band is located and what kind of music you are all listening to that might inspire the music you make with Letters from the Colony.
Well, yeah, I've sort of been a master at making this town sound like something out of one of those, dystopian Netflix series or something. But it's not that bad. I tend to exaggerate a bit. But basically, Borlänge is I think it's the 24th biggest city in Sweden. So that's pretty huge. It's not a big country.
Yeah, we got all excited. I was expecting this Hobbit story or something, Alex.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, and this is nothing like the Shire. Okay. I'm sorry.
I think I live more in the Shire than you do. So, Alex,
you do? Really?
How would you describe the band musically?
Well, it's Meshuggah met the guys from Pink Floyd, and they all took acid together. No, I don't know really. It's just with this band we tend to do whatever we want, basically, and that is what we do. And that's why we sound the way we sound. I mean, we draw inspiration from a million different sources. Everything from Phil Collins to old death metal stuff like Dissection, whatever.
you guys, you got a brand new album out on Nuclear Blast Records called Vignette. Now, when did you guys sign to Nuclear Blast?
Well, yeah, it's been a long process for sure, but we basically signed with them in the beginning of 2017, and after that it's just been a long wait to sort of, everything has to sort of lock in together with their other releases, and it has to be the right time of the year, and the stars have to be aligned perfectly. So there's always there's a lot of work that goes into really releasing an album, and things have been pretty quiet from us throughout the last year, but we've been working really fucking hard just making this thing happen.
And now, so Alex, how exactly does one go about writing the music for an album like this? I mean, with all the technical riffs and different drum variations, and then having to sing with all this, how do you guys actually musically write for an album like this?
Slowly and methodically.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's been with this album, it's a bit different, I guess, than the way you would write a normal album, because all these songs have been written and sort of perfected slowly over the years. There are a few songs that are from sort of during the time of the inception of the band, like songs like Sunwise. It's been with the band for probably 7 years now or something.
Wow.
So that's a song that's sort of been played live and reworked over the years. So yeah.
So how did you guys go about recording this? Now, I thought I read in another one of your things that you have your own studio. So how long did the whole recording process from writing it to recording it to releasing it take?
Years and years, mm-hmm. Depending on how you look at it. I mean, like I said, the writing process was done little pieces here and there over a course of many years, but the recording process, I think, was, we have our own place, and that's not helpful when you're trying to get shit done. So we've been working, I say we tracked the drums for 3 months, but
wow.
That's just in the evenings, mm-hmm. pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But then, we were perfectionists, and we thought that the drums from the first session, because we did too, we thought the drums from the first session just weren't cutting it, because our equipment was shit, and we just weren't sort of in tune with the place and the music. And when you have your own studio, you can sort of do that, just, no, I don't like this, let's start over.
Mm-hmm.
So we sort of did that, and that added, 3-4 months to the total process. But yeah, I think we finished in April, I think, 2016 with the mixes and everything, and got those back from mastering in late April, I believe. So yeah, the album's been done since that.
And so what are some of the lyrical subjects that you touch on, and what inspires those lyrics for you, Alex?
Yeah, well, I've done quite a few of these interviews now, and I always try to find something deep and poetical and heroic, and just nice things to say about the topics and the writing process. But basically, it's just me in the recording studio with a handheld microphone, trying to find shit that pisses me off and allows me to scream. And sort of, with the lyrics for this album, I sort of looked back a little over my career, into the first band that I was in. A lot of those lyrics were sort of, I guess, some sort of attempt at social commentary, basically. And I found that, a lot of that shit really gets me going, and it's sort of easier to go that route than to like pick topics that are very, very close to heart. Mm-hmm. Something we might do for the next album, perhaps. But with this, the songs are very big and epic, and I wanted a sort of concept to go along with that. So it's a little bit about the environment and just general observations that intellectuals worldwide make when they see people on the bus stop with their faces buried in Instagram and they're wondering what's happening to the world. Yeah.
Well, that sounds kind of poetic, Alex,
Thank you. I try to get better over time. When am I better, actually? Yeah. Thanks.
So, about halfway through the album, you have a very zenful instrumental called The Creature Will Haunt Us. Now, why did you put this in that particular spot on the album?
Yeah, well, with that one, that was actually something that we sort of came up with on the fly. It's based on the chord progression from the chorus of the song after it. It's called Cataclysm. Mm-hmm. So basically we had a million different amps and guitar pedals surrounding us, and we sort of started playing with those, and Sebastian came up with that, and we thought, oh shit, that would be a killer intro for the song, because it starts very sort of like in your face. And then we sort of listened back to it and, together with the other songs, and we realized that a lot of our songs sort of, there are none of them that, hit you in the face right away. There's always a lot of build-up, and we wanted Cataclysm to be, a really face smasher. Mm-hmm. So we just thought, we might as well, just put that on a separate track and give people a break.
I was going to say, that's what I was hoping you would say. I'm like, oh my gosh, because it kind of gives the listener a little time to like regroup their brain from all that's going on musically in this album. There's so much going on, and then all of a sudden it's like zenful and peaceful, and then it gets right back into it. So I think it's kind of nice the way, it's not too long too. You don't get too much zenful break there, but it's just kind of a nice little spot, like right in the middle of the album, and then you just get right back into it. And I just think it just makes it flow really nice, and it's, I don't know. It's like it gives your brain a little bit of a rest.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So let's talk a little bit now about the title track, Vignette. Is there any particular reason why you put this at the end of the album?
Yeah, well, it's a pretty bizarre track, isn't it? We didn't want to scare people away, I guess. No, but it's there's been a lot of discussion about that song. It wasn't even intended for this band at first, so it's always been hard to sort of fit it in with the rest, but I guess now looking back at it, it sort of makes sense in the grand scheme of things. But we talked about splitting it up into two songs and having, Vignette Part 1 and Part 2, but, they can't really stand on their own feet. I don't know the expression, but yeah, so we decided to keep it as one song, and it's very, like, instrumental and experimental as well, I guess, and we just thought it would be sort of a great way to finish the album, since, it contains all of the elements that make up our sound that you're sort of introduced to gradually throughout the course of the record. So by the time you get to the end, you sort of know a little bit what to expect, and you can sort of comprehend what the fuck is going on.
and I also noticed too, like, the first notes of the album are melodic, and then the last notes of the album are melodic, and then you got all that crazy shit in between, but I think it really, whether you guys did that on purpose or not, I don't know, but I just think the whole album kind of flows that way and makes it, not that your music's not listenable, but I just think it makes it more of a pleasurable experience, instead of just being, in your face from the first note to the last note without the listener even getting a chance to be like, well, what the fuck did I just listen to? And well, what the hell was that all about? Because you guys are so intense, I guess is a word, and it's fun to listen to, and there's like technical riffs all over the place, and then that subgenre word that we all love, math metal, comes into play with this. And all this great. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, were you always into this kind of metal, Alex?
I've been into a lot of different things. I think we all have, and that is why this album sounds the way it does. It's a little bit of everything. So yeah, but I've been a melodic death metal guys. We've been melodic death metal guys, and we've been metalcore guys, and we've been hipsters listening to post-hardcore bands, and we've gone through so many different phases, and this is sort of a culmination of it all coming together on this album.
Well, I'm glad you didn't make a hipster album, Alex.
Well, it's sort of hipster, I guess.
No, not really.
We just have to wear those fedoras. And
yeah. Well, if you were just to look at the album cover, you might think that until you listen to it. So tell us a little bit now about the artwork and the album cover and what you guys were going for through that, and who the artist is.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. Vignette, the title track, is sort of what spawned this whole nature theme that we have going with pretty much all the visuals, the album art, and the music videos as well. And this is a pretty long story, but it all ties back to that, and I guess it just has to do with the song is very sort of organic and nature-y, I thought, when I was writing the lyrics and everything. And then there's a band from around here. I mean, they're not around anymore, but they were from around here, called Totem Skin, and they've always had some pretty killer album covers. And with the last album they released before calling it quits, they hired a guy from the States called Chris Benatcher, who is extremely talented. I mean, you have to look at his work. Like, the files we received from him were so detailed. If you zoom in, you can see there's a million strokes with this pen, and it's all by hand. It's phenomenal. But we just thought, we have a pretty strange name that's not very metal, so we might as well go for a pretty strange and vibrant, colorful cover that's also not that metal. Yeah.
Well, it makes it interesting
that.
Between that story, and you're absolutely right, but I think it makes it all the more cool, if you will, especially if it's a band that's not familiar with you. So now they're seeing, this album cover by a band called Letters from the Colony, and I don't really think, if they don't know anything about your band, that they're going to get what they think they're going to get when they listen to it. So I think...
No, it would be easier if we had all the traditional stuff of people being torn apart and skulls, and the band was called Crimson Flesh Fire. In the depths of night, people would know, but now they don't. We sort of catch them off guard. Maybe that's why they like us so much.
I think it's very endearing. It's true. It's very endearing. And now the album's been out for a little over a week now. So what has been some of the early reviews to it? And you also have the video out too. So what have been some of the early reactions and reviews so far?
Yeah, it's been overall very, very positive, which is something that we didn't expect. I mean, with music, people have a lot of opinions. We thought, we were going to have a few fans that were die-hard fans, but the majority of people just wouldn't get us, if you know what I mean. But the positives that the reviews that have been coming in have been almost all in the top range score-wise, and it's been like that pretty much to the point where I sort of get offended when I see something negative, because I'm not ready for it. I tried to sort of distance myself and, just grow my skin a little thicker, before releasing this, so we could take all criticism objectively and fairly. But it's just been a string of positive feedback overall, so we're very happy about that.
So now that the album's been released, what's the band focusing on now? Are you guys going to be going out doing any touring or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. We just signed with a booking agency from the Netherlands called Loud Noise, and we have our man over there. He's called Jerk, which I think is an amazing name. So he's working on finding some great tours for us now, and in the meantime, we're sort of working on, more sort of content for our social media channels. I guess we're very keen on making, or the guys are. I mean, they play guitar. I just scream my ass off, but they are very. We're a band that rehearses a lot. We actually know how to play this stuff inside out. So we're going to try to make some sort of live videos, maybe some playthrough videos, and just show people that this is for real and not just some notes that were cut up in Pro Tools and aligned perfectly. That that we can actually play this stuff, and that we're a real band.
And Alex, so what are some of the best websites for people to go to learn more about the band and, check you out, find out where you're playing and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we actually launched our very own website at the turn of this year. If you go to lettersfromthecolony.com, you can find all of our music videos, tour dates, a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. I made it.
So of course it's awesome. So, I mean, are there links to it also to your Facebook page, to that page as well?
Yeah, and also if you want to get a good-looking T-shirt or a hoodie or something, you can do that there as well.
All right, well, then there you guys have it. Letters from the Colony has a new album out. They got a new website out, too. The new album's out on Nuclear Blast Records called Vignette for you all to check out and learn more about the band and what's going on with them. Again, you can check out their website, pick up some merch, check out their Facebook page. And Alex, thank you very much for taking the time out to come on the show today to talk about the band and what you have going on, and all the best to you out there.
Yeah, likewise. It's been my pleasure talking to you.
So